What's up, y'all? Good morning. Um, I was just gonna go ahead and do my live. I haven't been on in a while, so I figured I'd go ahead and give y'all a video. Um, Me and Jewel we're doing them together, but we've been kind of hit and miss. She's been really busy. I've been really busy, so we haven't been doing them every day like we usually do. Um, so we've kind of I don't know. We kind of been missing each other. I know she's been doing them, but I haven't done them in a couple days. So I figured I'd go ahead and give y'all a video. Her business has been picking up, so she's been really busy with that. I've been getting a lot of training, so I've been really busy with that. Um, hey, Jewel, you want to come on camera? Oh, okay, I guess you do.
I'm driving. Right here I am. I went down to the school and I texted you like 10 minutes, but when I finally had to go out again. So, but I really wanted to say something really quick. I didn't read the whole gist for today, but I love, love, love that it's talking about taking personal inventory because I feel like it applies to everybody, not just recovering addicts. You know,
Yeah. Are you driving?
I told you I was driving. I'm gonna put you down.
Your shit's choppy
I don't
anyway.
have a seatbelt on or nothing. What?
I say your shit's choppy anyway. You on your way home?
No, I'm on my way to the store. I gotta get money out. Then I'm going home.
You gonna sit at the parking lot and do this live with me?
Probably not. I'm probably just gonna go in and continue to drive.
Oh, all right.
And I always that's when other people do it. I hate when people go live and drive because a lot of times they'll go live and they'll be steady trying to read the comments. And I'm like, can you just say your message? Like if you're gonna drive and go live, at least just do your message and go on.
Yeah,
So
it was moral inventory, so I had to jump on that.
yeah, yeah, no, it was definitely good. And I was debating this morning, just going without you, and I was like, no, this is such a good one for us to do together.
Um, Joanne, I haven't been doing them for the past couple days anyway, so you ain't missed nothing.
Yeah.
I think it's been like what 3 days since I did one.
It has. It's and for both of us, I haven't been able to go every day either because it's just been too busy.
Yeah, I told him in the beginning that we've both been really busy.
Yeah, and I shared it out to some groups too. I should have sent it because then I could have read it at least. Did you read it?
Nah, I don't need to do all that. I mean, we've covered moral inventory like 1,000 times. So
Yeah.
where you at, Walmart?
No, I'm at Roll Farms. Roll Farms doesn't charge me to take money out.
Whatever your bank is.
Yeah.
Whatever your bank is.
Yeah, the bank charges me, but Roll Farms doesn't. Whereas if I go somewhere else, I get charged twice. So at least I only get once here.
Ain't no nobody care about your shit, about your Roll Farms bullshit.
Well, this is where the money comes in. My mom says, "Oh, you're home making the money."
You're gonna have to get up out of that store, yo. I'm not fitting to talk while
I
you're.
am. I'm done. I'm all done. I didn't know the lady was going to sit there and talk to me while I was pulling money out of the ATM.
All right, y'all. So today is moral inventory. Um, and it's one of my favorite topics because to me, moral inventory is where it's all at. If you and it's not, it doesn't apply to being clean and sober. It applies to everything. It applies to anything you want in life. If you want healthy relationships, if you want
Yeah.
success in your business or in your work life, your career pathway, whatever the fuck it is, um, if you want to be clean and sober and stay that way, you always have to do a moral inventory. You have to check yourself at all times, every day, on a regular basis. Um, because at the end of the day, ultimately, you're responsible for everything that happens to
Yeah.
you. So anything that happens to you, it's on you. It's your responsibility. Not to say there's not things, there are things in life that you can't control, but what you can always control is yourself and how you react to each thing that happens to you. So to say that a lot of people, get in the clean and sober groups or just the other groups in general, and um, they'll tie a specific reason to their relapse, or they'll tie you know, some excuse as to why they
Yeah.
relapse or why they keep fucking up. There is no excuse. At the end of the day, it's on you. Like, I don't know where this
Yeah.
confusion comes from where people get clean and sober and they think life's just gonna stand still for them. Like
Right.
once they get clean and sober, life just stops and it's all a bed of roses and sunshine. That's not life. That's not reality. But
Mm-mm. And that's what I tell people all the time. Life is going to show up whether you're high or not, but you can deal with it and handle it much better being clean and sober than you can being high. I mean, it's just that simple.
yeah, and you've been living your life in a fog for so long that you don't know shit about life
Right.
anymore. You don't know what real life is.
Right.
You don't know what it's like for people that handle their responsibilities and handle their shit and do what they're supposed to do and take care of their family. Um, so when you first get clean and sober, it's like it shocks you that, oh, I gotta actually do stuff. Like, oh shit, I gotta actually go get a job. You know, I gotta actually treat people right. I gotta actually, present myself a certain kind of way and, treat people with respect and be honest with people. Um, and all that comes from your moral inventory. All that comes from, checking yourself, making sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, making sure, you're keeping up with you.
Yeah.
Don't just get so busy, pushing through life that you just forget to stare yourself in the mirror every once in a while and check yourself and, am I handling this correctly? Am I doing this right? Is this how I should be doing this? Um,
Right.
Nobody else's opinions matter but your own, but you need to make sure your opinions of yourself are good ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to make sure when you
Yeah.
look yourself in the mirror, you're cool with that person. When
Yeah.
you see that person looking back at you, you gotta make sure, yeah, I'm cool with where I'm at. I'm cool with what I'm doing. I'm cool with, how I'm treating people and the people that I
Yeah.
associate with, and I'm good with how yesterday went. I'm good with how I handled yesterday or how I'm handling today. You got to make sure you do that. You got to stay on top of that shit. It's so easy to get comfortable and just being clean and sober, and
Yeah.
it doesn't take that long before you start complaining about the day-to-day monotonous bullshit.
Right.
You start to lose that
And then,
gratitude that we talk about.
yeah. And that's addict behavior, classic addict behavior. And that's why I think, like, one of the biggest things that I think really opened my eyes since you and I started doing these videos was that at one point you made some comment in the very beginning that, about the drugs and the alcohol as a symptom. It's just a piece of it, and that it's all about self-work. It's all about looking inside and fixing the things on the inside, because that's really what it is. And I don't know why it never clicked until you said that to me. And I mean, I feel like I've done a good job at, working on myself, but I feel like since we've started doing these videos, I've worked on myself even more. And in doing so, it has paid off in all areas of my life, not just in recovery, not just in my business, in my family life, in my relationships, everything. So, and it's so crazy to think that once you start working on yourself and you start doing that inside personal work, everything around you follows suit. Everything around you will begin to change in a beautiful way. So
Right.
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I've talked about it before. A lot of times you carry that person over with you into your sobriety. So you quit drinking
Yeah.
or you quit doing drugs, and you find that you're still that same asshole or you're still that same, you know,
Yeah.
scamming, scheming type person. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it happen plenty of times before where somebody gets clean and they still act like a junkie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They never
Yeah.
change. They because they don't work on themselves. They don't do that inventory. They don't check themselves. They never sit down and focus on the real shit because they're convinced that the only thing that was wrong with them was that they did drugs, and that's not the case. While you were
Right.
wasting your life away doing drugs for however many years you did it, all the other people in the world that weren't doing drugs, they were realizing those character flaws and they were chipping away at them and trying to work on them.
Yeah.
But you haven't. If anything, you've just declined as a human being over the years because of the way you've lived your life. And then when you get clean and sober, if you don't do that moral inventory, if you don't check yourself in the mirror, and if you don't start working on the real reasons why, you were an alcoholic or a drug addict, if you don't start focusing on that shit, you're still gonna be that same motherfucker that you were when you were getting high and when you were getting drunk all the time. Just
Yeah.
dropping the drugs and the alcohol, but you're still that same asshole. You're still that same
And
person.
I want to add, the longer that you continue to do that addict behavior, even though you're not using the drugs, it's only a matter of time before you relapse. Because there's been so many people that I know that have gotten clean, they've stopped using drugs, they've stopped using alcohol, but they still lie, or they still steal, or they still cheat, all these different things. And it's literally days and then relapse, and they're right back out there because you're not working on yourself. There was a girl that was in the house with your mom. That was one of her biggest problems, is that she was like literally a compulsive liar. Like, she had to lie about everything. Even when proven that her story was a lie, she still lied. She still tried to cover it up. And once she stopped doing that, and once she started working on herself, she got some real clean time. I think she's coming up on like 8 or 9 months clean now because she stopped doing the addict behavior that went along with it.
Yeah, I mean, my mom was like a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Yeah.
my mom went to rehab so many times when she was using, and she would get into the rehab or the halfway house or the recovery house or whatever, and she'd be all in it. It's all God this, God that. Um,
Yeah.
I'm just working on myself. All this good talk. You know how it is. Everybody knows. You always
Yeah.
talk that good shit when you first get in there, right? And
Right.
I'm calling her every day to check on her, and I notice as the time goes by, it only takes about a month usually, and I start noticing that old behavior. I start
Yeah.
noticing she's always talking about what this girl is doing, what that girl is doing, and how
Yeah.
this one did that, and then this one did that, and and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, Mom, you got this shit fucked up. You're setting yourself up for failure because you're too busy worrying about everybody else, and
Yeah.
I can already tell that old you is creeping up because you're not working on the real shit. You think it's just a matter of getting clean and everything's gonna go
Mm-hmm.
back to the way it is, and it don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? And when you step into recovery and you get clean or you get sober, what needs to be on your plate is I need to see what's really wrong with me. And it might not be a popular opinion, and I don't give a fuck about debating about it. I'm not gonna debate about it. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. I don't think you have a disease. I don't think
Yeah.
drinking and using drugs is a disease. It's a choice. It's something that you do. Do you get addicted to the substances? Of course. It's no different than caffeine and nicotine. They're addictive.
Right.
Then you form the habit, so you have a bad habit and you're addicted to it. And you can cut it just like you can cut anything else. You understand?
Right.
So
Yeah.
my thing is knowing that it's just as simple as there's some deep rooted shit here. There's something else going on. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
said all the time, you might have started out in the party phase, but as life went on, you started using your drugs and your alcohol as a crutch. You know,
Right.
your life's fucked up, or somebody passes away, or you got a bunch of bills and you're stressed out, you got fired from your job, and it's all excuses as to why you want to drink. You're arguing with your significant other. It's all excuses of why you can drink or do drugs. So
Yeah.
it starts out as a fun party, but then it slowly turns into something else. It slowly starts to turn into an emotional crutch and a psychological issue
Yeah.
because you start to obsess over it, and the drugs and alcohol start to become your friend. And over time, you damage that person. You damage who you really are. And you start to become somebody else. And because you've been that somebody else for so long, when you get clean and sober, that person is not just going to fade away.
Yeah.
That's who you are right now. And until you go back and look at yourself and check your moral inventory and pay attention to the way you are acting when you're clean and sober, and make sure you're not acting the same way you were acting when you were getting high or when you were getting drunk. Because if you're going to be the same person that you were then, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? The whole point is to have a better quality of life. The whole point of it all is to improve your life and to live a better life and to treat others better, to make up for all the shit you did to the people that you care about. You can't make up to nobody if you're not healing yourself first. And by healing
Yeah.
yourself, it's a part of being honest with yourself. You got to look at yourself in the mirror and know, like, man, I'm still acting like I was before. I'm still scheming people and scamming people and lying to people. I'm still all about me. I'm still
Yeah.
selfish. I still come first. You got to pay attention to that kind of stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so just think about it like that, and that's why it's so important. And anybody that wants to argue and say that, you know, no, you just need to worry about getting clean and getting sober. Yeah, that's cool, but the literature is contradictory to that statement, because if you look at the literature, if anybody's done the step work, I never done it before, but when we covered it in our videos and we did steps 1 through 12, you hardly see anything in any of those steps about doing drugs or drinking. They barely talk about it. They
Right.
spend the whole time talking about, what are your character flaws that you're noticing now that you're clean and sober? Have you brought them flaws with you? Are you still acting on those flaws, or have you changed that behavior? Are you making amends to the people that you damaged, that you hurt? All that kind of different stuff. Are you strengthening your spirituality and your relationship with, letting things be and understanding that there's powers greater than you? All that stuff. Nowhere in there it's just talking about, just get sober, get clean, and just go to meetings every day of the rest of your life and don't worry about anything else.
Yeah.
You're not going to see that in there. It rarely even speaks on doing drugs and doing alcohol throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't think it really mentions it at all, honestly.
If you get the worksheets, if you print out the worksheets or pull up the worksheets, it isn't telling you anything about that, because they're assuming you're already there, and now they're teaching you how to go back to being a functional human being and being a productive member of society. And if
Joe, I
you're
have to go.
all right,
I didn't want to cut you off, but I have to go.
nah, that's cool.
All right, I'll see you.
All right. And so when you bring that person over with you, you have to make sure that you're focusing on, all right, now that I'm clean and I'm sober, and I can see again, I can feel again. Everything is, all my senses are coming back to me. Reality can start to work on yourself. I'm not saying it's the first thing you need to jump to. I'm not saying that you just got clean or you just got sober, so you got to hurry up and rush and become perfect. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, once you get clean and sober and you get some time under your belt, the next step is you need to start fixing that kind of stuff. You need to start making amends to the people that you hurt. You need to start checking yourself and really paying attention to the way you act, the way you speak, who you speak to, and how you speak to them, and just the little character things. Are when you get clean and sober, are you worried about everybody else? Are you infatuated with the drama in your recovery house or anything wherever you're at? Are you getting all wrapped up in the drama at work? Because that's how you fuck up. That's how you screw up. That's how you end up relapsing, when you start to worry about a bunch of shit that don't matter, and you start to worry about everything else but yourself. Yeah, Chrissy, it really is. It's deeper than just, you know, I like to get drunk. You know what I mean? It's deeper than, I just like to get high. Um, like I said, it starts out as a party phase, but once the party stops and you realize you have a problem, you don't like to do it. You know what I'm saying? You're just doing it because it's a habit, and you're addicted to it, and you're chasing something that isn't there. You know what I mean? You're chasing what it used to be instead of realizing it for what it is now. What it used to be was fun. What it isn't now is fun, and you're so busy, trying to figure out, like, for one, you probably convince yourself that it's still enjoyable, but everything else around you is falling apart, and you can't understand why. And yeah, then you just start making excuses. Then the pity party comes in. Then it's all I'm just a fuck up and all that bullshit. All the bullshit we tell ourselves so we can just keep doing the same shit and not have to improve or change or try at anything. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to just say fuck it and just throw life away and just throw in the towel. It's so much harder to, actually, work for the shit you want and do the right thing and stay focused. But once you get some time, and if you do the work, if you work on who you really are, all that shit gets easy. All that shit starts to get easy. And over time you realize, my life is 10 times better than it's ever been. And just take all that shit with you as a learning experience and a reminder that you don't want to go back, that you don't want to live like that anymore. It's not like it's never going to come up. It's not like you're never going to think about it. I had some of my best times, drinking and hanging out with my friends and shit like that, but for so many years it wasn't like that anymore. So I can't hang on to a year or two of good memories and just excuse the other 10 to 15 years and act like that part never happened. You got to be honest with yourself about, what it really was and what it really is. Congratulations on your almost a year. Once you get over that year, I mean, everybody's different, but once you get over that year, I feel like it gets a lot easier. I know it was for me. I mean, up until that, the longest time I ever had was 9 months. And now I'll be 19 months at the end of this one. And after the year, it got pretty easy. And that's not to say there's not going to be situations that's going to try you. There's going to be situations in life that you cannot control that will try you. I think I was about a month short of my year. Or no, I wasn't a month short. I was about 2 weeks short of my year. I'd almost got to my full year. I was about 2 weeks short. And my mom passed away, and it was unexpected. I wasn't prepared for it. She wasn't sick. I didn't know nothing about it. She was only 49. She had just got clean, been 8 months clean. And I wasn't prepared for that shit. You know what I'm saying? You wake up in the morning and you get up to go to work and you get that phone call. That shit'll fuck with you. You know what I mean? And that's a good example of a situation that, yeah, I'm doing all the right shit. I'm doing good. I'm treating people right. I'm really trying to change my life. And then bam, you're hit with something that you have no control over that can just throw a wrench in everything you're trying to do and really try to drag you down. But I'm going to tell you, every time you get over one of those really hard situations, it makes you 10 times stronger, because after that, I looked at it like there's nothing else that can happen. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing else that can happen to me that'll be harder than that I can't handle. You know what I'm saying? So I looked at it like, it happened for a reason. I was grateful that she died clean, and, she was happy when she passed away, and she wasn't suffering or nothing like that. And I was also grateful that I got through it. I was so grateful that I was able to, man up and get through it, because that's what it comes down to. You think these people that don't use drugs and don't drink, you think they got something to lean on when life gets tough? You think they got some fucking shit they can escape with? You know what I'm saying? You think they don't want to blank out when shit gets hard for them? Yeah, it's tough losing somebody like that. Good job on your 8 months. It is still a struggle, but life's a struggle anyway. So why are you going to throw something else in it to make it even harder? You know what I'm saying? Life's already hard enough as it is. And you don't need any help. You know, you don't need to do anything else to make it more complicated or make it harder than it has to be. Um, that's just the way I look at it. I just look at it like life is so much easier um, when you don't have to wake up and feel like shit, or you don't have to, you know, worry about, all your focus is just on that one thing and nothing else, and everything else gets neglected and everything else gets put second place. And you know, you said, you know, you almost lost your kids or your marriage. Um, it makes you realize that your family's number one. Your family comes first. You know what I'm saying? Um, Especially for the kids. I always talk about the kids, and it's not to make any moms or dads or anybody on here feel bad or feel guilty, but you know, if you got a child, you got to take that shit serious, because your child didn't ask to be here. You chose to bring that child here, and why would you bring your child here just to fuck their life up? You know what I'm saying? Because when you're not right, they're not right, and they're gonna feel the consequence of everything you do. Everything that you choose to do is gonna affect them. And I'm being honest with y'all. You know, I feel like that was my life changing experience. When my daughter was born, that was it for me. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it, because it's it's the truth. I'd be lying to you if I said anything else. And I know people always say, you know, you gotta get clean for you. You gotta do it for you and nobody else. But then you see the same people talking about their higher power, and they put God first, and God helps them do this and God helps them do that. Well, my daughter helps me do all that. You know what I'm saying? It could be God for you, but it's my daughter for me. Because God's not dependent on me. My daughter's dependent on me. You know what I'm saying? God doesn't need me. My daughter needs me, though. And it's my job as a parent and as a father to protect her. And I can't protect her if I'm out there getting fucked up. So that's just how I look at it. Um, and I don't see any signs of failure coming out of a result of that. And as I it just was my starter. You know what I mean? Me getting sober for her was just the start. Now I'm doing it for myself. You know, now I'm starting to realize how much I'm enjoying my life the way it is now, and now it's becoming more about me and less about her. So you got to do what you got to do, whatever it takes. You know, whatever works for you. One person's journey is not the same as the next. So it's not up to us to judge one person, or, you know, tell one person it can only be done this way. Um, it's just up for us to, you know, share our opinions and guide people the best we can and try to put out the best information we can. It's just like when I say, when I do the disease thing, when I talk about how, you know, it's a choice and an addiction and a habit. It's just my opinion, because it works for me. It's not I'm not saying it's a fact. But I'm a different type of guy, you know what I mean? I look at it like, for me, I'm less motivated if I tell myself it's a disease, because it creeps in the thought that I don't have a choice. I have a disease. Or if I tell myself it's hereditary because all my family, a whole bunch of my family members were drug addicts and alcoholics, my father, my mother, and all the way up and down the line, that I don't got no choice. I was just born with this. To me, I would use that as an excuse. And I'm just the type that I don't like to put a label on myself. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that's the only reason. Because I know if it's a choice and if it's an addiction, then that means I have the power to fix it. I have the power to change it. You know what I'm saying? For it to be a disease or hereditary, there's no medication out there that I can go get that'll just make it all go away. So I rather tell myself it's a choice. That puts me in power. That puts me in the driver's seat. You know, that lets me know, hey man, it's all up to you. You're the one that's going to the fucking store and buying the shit. You know what I mean? You're the one. If drugs is your thing, you're the one going out and texting the dope man, or going up to the dope man and getting drugs. You're the one that keeps going and refilling that script. You're the one that keeps going to the doctor with some new bullshit excuse about your leg hurts or your knee hurts or you know, twisted your arm. I even know people that will hurt themselves intentionally. What kind of shit is that? That's a choice, man. You know, you chose to do all that. So it's my opinion. I'm not saying you're wrong if you think it's a disease or it's hereditary. You know, down the line we might find some evidence of that, but as far as I'm concerned, for me personally, I like to, like the moral inventory, I like to look myself in the mirror and put myself in control. That's just how I am. Well, Ty, it depends on what you believe. You know what I mean? I just, as far as that goes, I just try to be the best person I can be, and I try to make amends and right my wrongs, and I try to do good things without wanting anything in return, and I try to treat people with respect as long as they treat me that way, and that's pretty much how I carry it. If I'm meant to, if there's a heaven and I'm meant to be there, I'll be there. I just, all I can focus on trying to live my best life on earth, you know, and be a good human being the best way I know. That's it. That's all I can worry about. But that's just me personally. Like I said, everything I say on here is me, my opinion. And you can take what you want out of it and leave whatever you don't. I'm not, you know, I'm not the be all end all. I'm not the knower of all things. I'm just somebody who's been through a lot of shit when it comes to this, and I've experienced a lot of different things when it comes to this, and I'm staying sober. So I try to just do my best to drop a message or plant a seed here or there that might help somebody else that's struggling or going through a bad time, or they haven't woke up and faced themselves yet. That's my biggest thing. Anybody that follows uh, our lives knows that my biggest thing is making you look at yourself. You know, making you look yourself in the mirror and really change the character flaws, really change the bullshit that you carry over with you. And it doesn't mean you have to be fake or phony. It just means you got to be a better human being, and you got to work harder to achieve better things. You know, to me, happiness is a big chunk of happiness is measured by progression. You know, so you got to work hard to, you know, achieve and progress in life. And it doesn't have to be all about money. Progressing in life doesn't just mean you make more money. Progressing in life is about, it's in every area. You know, your spirituality, you know, how you are as a human being, how you treat other people, the type of husband you are, the type of father you are, the type of son you are, the type of mother, everything, daughter, sister, brother, whatever. All that shit counts too. And that's the most important. The careers and the money and all that shit can come later. You know what I mean? To me, it's, you know, you got to heal your soul first. You know, when you get clean and get sober, a lot of people get clean and sober and they want to jump right back into life. You know, they're in a big rush. They're worried, now I got to get a job. Now I got to do this. Now I got to do that. Just slow down. Don't get in no rush. Take everything slow and just keep an eye on yourself. Stay true to you and stay loyal to yourself, and make sure that you're always honest with yourself about who you are and the things that you're doing. And if, while doing that moral inventory and while, you know, having that conversation with yourself, if you realize that, you know, you start to feel bad or you start to feel guilty, or you feel like, you know, some of the things you're doing are fucked up, you know, you got to work on that. That's the shit you want to work on. That's what you want to fix. That's what you need to focus on. Well, I'm glad you found, you're finding your strength in that, Ty, and I'm glad it's, it works for you. Um, I'm glad you have that faith and you have that belief. It does a lot for a lot of people. There's something to it. It's good to believe in something. It's good for everybody to just believe in something. And I'll never tell you you're wrong for whatever you believe in. It's not my place. Just like the recovery journey, the spiritual journey, and the journey, your journey with your God of your understanding. That's all on you. That's up to you. It's not on me to speak on that. I've said before, in my videos, I try to stay out of the religion kick because I don't want to alienate myself and my content. Not everybody believes. Doesn't mean I don't, but not everybody does. So I just try not to. I try not to come on here and preach about things that are more personal when it comes to religion and faith. Just like I don't talk politics too much on here either. You know what I'm saying? That's your business. Um, you're more than welcome to share it in the comments. I'm not discouraging you from it, because there are a lot of people that get a lot of strength from it and they get a lot of hope from it, and it works for a lot of people. If anybody else has anything they need to say, any questions, now would be the time. I'm about to wrap this up and get in this gym. That's another thing too, y'all. Find a good habit to replace your bad one. I mean, I worked out even when I was drinking, but now I'm more serious about it. Now it's more. I take it more serious because I'm not distracted, and it's a release for me. All that anger, tension, frustration, depression, whatever the fuck, all that shit goes away when I go to the gym. It's a win-win for me. And I tell people all the time, it's cheap therapy. And it's 24-hour therapy. You can walk in there, depending on where your gym is, you can walk in there any time of day, any time, any day, and get that release. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody for commenting. I appreciate everyone who watched. If anybody is having a bad day, or if anybody, feels like they're going to use or go drink or whatever the case may be, I'm going to tell y'all, like Jewel and I tell you on every video, feel free to add us on Facebook, on our personal pages, and message us. We don't want to see people that relapse and never reached out and said no one was there for them. So if y'all, feel the need that you're on the fence and you need somebody to talk to, you're always welcome. I always check your message and respond to the best of my ability. So just keep that in mind. Don't be one of those people who reach out to the right people, if you know what I'm saying. People will say they reached out and nobody helped them. When in reality, they reached out to people that they knew weren't going to help them, that weren't going to respond to them because they got that tunnel vision and they were setting that up. They don't reach out to the people that are going to talk them off the ledge because they don't want to be talked off the ledge because they're not ready to stop. Don't be one of those people. If you really feel like you're on the fence, reach out to the right people. It don't have to be us. I'm just throwing the hand out. That's all. I'm just sticking my hand out. It can be anybody, whoever's close to you that you can trust, that you can really lean on. Just make sure you're making the right phone call when you feel like that. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one.